Okay, everybody, welcome to another Street Fight Club pod show. Finest totally just ditched us. I don't know what, he just ditched us. He said, "Fuck you guys, I'm leaving, and I don't care," which I think is rude. But anyway, we've still got myself. I'm EBar, and Chad Mandu, Chad Peppers is here too.
Yo.
So anyway, over the years and months and decades, we have played some different mobile games. So we're just going to talk about some mobile games that we have both played over the years. So let's start, Chad. I think I'm not positive, but did I introduce you to Hearthstone?
Yeah, you did actually.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Hearthstone. Very fun. Is it a trading card game? Is that what it's referred to, I guess?
Yeah, I would say, I guess you could call it a trading. Well, you can't really trade cards on it, right?
Well, what's like Magic called? What's Magic the Gathering?
The strategy. That'd be like a strategy card game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Magic, but I feel like it's not as complicated as Magic. But what it is, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. And so it's from, what is it, Blizzard?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so it's the same people that make Warcraft, StarCraft. What's that MOBA they made? Shit.
The what?
The MOBA that is like, League of Legends and all that shit.
Dota?
Did they make Dota?
No. Are you talking about Blizzard?
What? No, it's like MOBA is what those games are referred to, right? I don't even know what it fucking stands for.
MOBA?
See, this is what happens, guys. Whenever we don't have finance, we fucking have no clue what the hell's going on.
Multiplayer online battle arena.
Right, that's what it is. But what's the like when you open BattleNet? What are the games? It's like Warcraft, StarCraft, Hearthstone.
Oh, yeah, Warcraft, StarCraft. Sorry, I got Dota confused. That wasn't Blizzard at all.
No, that one wasn't. That one wasn't, but they came out with one not that long ago.
Oh, yeah, it was, let's look that up.
Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, that was like their wannabe Dota.
Because it's a MOBA.
Did it catch on?
I don't know how well that did. I don't hear a lot about Heroes of the Storm. Not nearly as much as you still hear about like League of Legends or Smite or like Paladins is a new one. They're always coming out with new ones. Overwatch is an extremely popular one now. I mean, Overwatch is a first-person version of it as well. I believe Smite is too, but rather than the top-down view is first-person view, which is interesting. But yeah. I'm not sure if I ever even gave Heroes of the Storm a chance. But anyway,
I tried it once, but I think the problem is they're trying to do the whole mobile strategy where you can buy. It's like pay to win. That's what they tried to do with Heroes of the Storm, kind of.
Yeah, and that's always shitty. Like, if you can pay for bonuses in mobile games sometimes, or extra, like with Hearthstone, if you want extra packs or something, then that's cool. That's fine. But if you just basically pay, level up to where other people can't touch you, then it turns kind of shitty, which I guess you can kind of do that with Hearthstone. But like, I introduced you to Hearthstone. I played Hearthstone a lot. We played Hearthstone against each other a few times. And you in particular became obsessed with Hearthstone for a while. Like, insanely obsessed. So what made you like it so much? What's so cool about it?
Well, I've always been into card games and strategy games. That's the only game I really care to play, honestly. I'm not much into first-person shooters anymore or anything, so just strategy games in general. So Hearthstone was one of those that was really fun. And I did spend probably way too much money on the game.
Well, it is a fun game, and it's easy to find matches. And I primarily played it on PC, but you can get it on your tablet or even your phone now, and you have been able to for a while. But it's just an interesting game. The learning curve is not insane. It doesn't take long to understand how to battle or anything like that, and you can just play to your heart's content. There's no, as far as mobile games go, a lot of them will have like, oh, well, you get 5 hearts and you can do 5 things. And once you do these 5 things, well, wait 2.5 hours, and then you can do 5 more things. But, with Hearthstone, it's cool because you can just keep playing as long as you want. It's always a live match. Well, not always. Like, you can go through the story and, play the computer if you want. But there's always people to play if that's what you want to do. So that's a great game. I don't know. I'm not sure if you ever played it, but for probably at least a year, I was completely obsessed with Clash of Clans. Have you played that at all?
I did play Clash of Clans for a while, but that game, once it got to the point where I was waiting more than a day or two to build something, I lost interest real quick because, there was just people on there. There's people that just spend so much money on that game. You heard about that news article where that guy had like embezzled money to play and spend all that money on Clash of Clans. Do you remember seeing that?
Yeah, I do remember that. And it's fucking insane, dude. But the way that they do it, and it's the same with almost any mobile game you get. Like, you get it, they'll give you a ton of lives at first. So you'll be sitting there, be able to play it for like 2-3 hours the first time you play it. But then after that, it's kind of like it just keeps getting slower and slower, and you're so used to that first initial speed that you were able to play it at when you started that you want that back. So then you're willing to pay money for it. And I think, and I never spent money on mobile games, and I think on Clash of Clans, over the entire time I played it, I spent maybe $10, which was a lot for me, especially because I was just hella broke. But it is a fun game. But like you're saying, man, like I think I got my town hall, which is like your base or whatever you want to call it, that you have to protect during wars. I think I got that to like level 8 or maybe even close to 9. And at the time, it maxed out at 10. I'm not sure if they went beyond that at this point. But it was just fucking like, to upgrade shit, you're literally waiting over a week. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sit here and log in every time and see that, it's only 9.5 days until my fucking tower is done, or my archer tower or whatever. And, but I was super into it for a while. I was in a clan. We were fucking dedicated. Like, I would get on that shit all the time. I knew all the people in the clan. We chatted all the time. We went to wars. We were serious about it. We were like, okay, you fucking attack this one, and I'll attack this one, and blah, blah, blah. And it's a fun game for that, but, it just drove me away because having to wait, like you said, it takes away the fun whenever you're having to wait 2 weeks for something to build. That's 2 weeks of real fucking time. Video game developers, come on, man. We don't want to wait that long.
When did you stop playing?
Oh, I'd say late 2015, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think those games, they're completely designed for you to like go balls to the wall and suck like $100 out of you.
Oh,
and then they know that the end game is, you're going to get tired of it and stop.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, what are their plans to do to keep you playing? Like, obviously, nobody wants to wait that long. So other than paying, and not some people will, sure, but not everybody's going to want to pay that shit. So what's the incentive for people who don't want to wait to continue on playing? Like it was cool. Like, you join a clan, sometimes you'll have a good community and shit. And, sometimes just that sense of community could be enough to keep certain people playing, but not everybody. So,
Yeah.
I've seen commercials for it and shit, and sometimes I'm just like, no, I still don't want to give that another try because I've been gone for so long. I'm going to come back. My shit is all completely destroyed for sure because of people just attacking me over and over while I haven't been online. So,
That is the downside of those games is once you're gone, there's not much of an incentive to come back.
right.
It's like when I played Dungeon Boss, I was like one of the top dogs on there. And
Is that right?
because I started playing it right when it came out. So I had a
Also,
jump
by the way,
start.
guys, if you search Dungeon Boss on my channel, there are 2 videos. Chad's not actually in the videos, but Chad created the videos. They're really old. I think they're from 2015 as well. But hey, give them a click. Anyway, go ahead. What are you saying about Dungeon Boss?
It's just the same way. I mean,
It's a fun game. You got me playing it for a while, and it's addictive in the same way. You play it a lot at first, and then you played it far longer than me, though.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those like it's just like anything. It's almost like it's kind of like working out. Like when you consistently play it all the time, you get on, you're doing your reps, you're getting in the morning, you're doing your reps, you're doing your reps at the end, and then once you quit, it's like your ass is back to being lazy. You don't want to do the grind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's actually a really good analogy, to be honest with you, because yeah, you get once you get out of the system of doing that grind, and that's another thing. Like a lot of these games that I used to play, there's some I can't even remember, but the shit takes at least like for all the little things that you can do every single day, it takes like 40 minutes or so. You know what I mean? And that's being conservative. And it's like, okay, do I really want to waste the next 40 minutes doing this shit? No. You know what? I'll just watch another episode of Friends. So, I don't know. But wasn't there a game that you said that, if wifey's not supposed to know about this, but didn't you spend like $1,000 on a game at one point? What game was that? She doesn't watch the podcast.
Yeah, no, she knew about it because she saw the credit card bill.
And she beat you mercilessly.
She did.
What game was that?
Well, this was right when I first started, and I discovered Heroes of Atlan. Or when I first discovered mobile games, and
Yeah.
I was making a little bit of money. You know what I mean? So it's like I didn't realize, the scam that was involved.
Well, I mean, you can push a $10 thing so many times without realizing that, goddamn, I just pushed it 100 times.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But the thing is like the rubies would go so quick because I was like spending them on stupid things, and I would just buy another $100 worth.
God sakes, sir. God sakes.
This is like 5 or 6 years ago. It literally was like my first experience with like these pay to win games.
Right.
And I just had like excess of money for some reason. So it was just like, but I didn't realize, I like subconsciously just purchased and kept purchasing.
Yeah.
And kept purchasing.
And that's what they hope for. You know what I mean? Is the person who just keeps purchasing and purchasing and purchasing and, doesn't realize before too long this shit has added up to God knows how much. So, you know.
Well, and there's a weird thing with mobile games. They went to this style because they know people like me would end up wasting money, or like, even more money. Like I would say that's a lot of money, but there's probably a lot of people out there that have thrown exponentially more money at stuff than I had. I learned my lesson on that one. Now Hearthstone, I did spend probably a couple $100 on that, but with Hearthstone, you pay $50 and you get like a ton of packs of cards, and you're guaranteed to get a bunch of legend cards. And if anything, you get to turn those extra cards into like stuff that you can make other cards with. So it's
Right.
actually a lot better deal than these like Clash of Clans where it's like paying for a prostitute. You know, you get 100 rubies, and they go so quick, and you're like, oh man, you know what I'm saying?
It's like, oh, I just need that feeling again of whenever I had so many rupees.
They're capitalizing on the endorphins in your brain. They want the instant. There's probably some psychologist or some smart dude that like, hey guys, if you want to make money, you need to capitalize on these dipshits that, you know, who want the instant gratification. And they're like, you know, because think about how many nerdy dudes are out there, probably in programming. They don't have a girlfriend. They make 120 grand a year.
Yeah.
Just nerding it up on whatever.
Yeah.
And they've thrown like $2,000-$3,000 at Clash of Clans. Like it ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that kind of is true. Everything you're saying is true. And like something like Clash of Clans, it really is pay to win, because if you pay enough money, you will have everything maxed out to where you're just a badass. And, you know, somebody that is just playing normally, fucking waiting a year and a half to be able to get the same thing that you got in a month and a half, you know, that just seems detrimental. Because then you have players that really don't even know what they're doing with extremely powerful shit that they don't even know what to do with it. And, you know, they're going to war, and I don't know. Well, but you're absolutely right.
My theory, too, is that the game companies create these fictitious players who are at the top, or maybe not even at the top, but maybe mid-layer, and they're kind of feeding the people, right? You know, like you're trying to be number 15 out of a million. Well, number 15 may be a fake person, and they're just kind of feeding their, you know what I'm saying? Why not? Like, that's how they
it would make perfect sense.
Because you know that they're not, there's no way, because I remember when I was playing that Heroes of Atlan, and I spent that ridiculous amount of money, there was a guy, there was people on there with an extremely rare, what they called monsters, and they were like in the top 20, 25, and I done the math, and it's like they either had spent, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on the game, or they're extremely lucky with odds. And so I'm like, in that case, either
nobody's that lucky.
And I was thinking, either that, or there's either more dipshits out there like me, or that have even more money, or this company created these fake players just so people like me would grind more money, thinking that they're going to get to the top. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, it's not ridiculous, because I mean, you know, it makes me kind of think back to like the 80s. You know, if say you go to an arcade and you see those top scores, those people aren't real. I mean, at least not initially. Exactly. They're just bullshit digits that or you know, letters that are put in there, and you're like, oh well, if I want to be number one, I've got to beat SSS. So let me fucking keep pumping quarters into this shit until I get the. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, just a different way of going about it, because it's 2017 and not 1986. So, well, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, man.
Well, you think about this too. If I was going to make a game and get it started, and this isn't really like, I wouldn't say this is bad, but you would create random characters from all levels that appear as if they're legitimate people that you're gonna you know, are throughout the game, because you're not going to get, you need that initial bump, right? You need that initial like thinking of that there's all these players on the game, and that you need a PvP, you know, like, and so I guarantee most of those games have some sort of bots, because otherwise when people start the game, there's not going to be no one to fight. So unless you just happen to get a lot of people playing and you get the ball rolling, you have to have fake players on there at least for a little bit.
True, man. Because like you were saying on Dungeon Boss, I played that a little bit too, and it's like, now it's got over 5 million downloads, but let's talk about whenever it had, less than 5,000. There had to have been fake shit whenever the first people started downloading that game. Fake groups or characters for them to fight, because the entire audience couldn't have been there at that point. Yeah. So, I see what you're saying. It makes sense.
I mean, that's what I mean. If I was making a game, which I might be making a game.
No, yeah, maybe. Who knows?
But
what was Heroes of Atlan anyway? I don't know if I ever played that.
It's basically, it was like a dungeon boss. And but the thing that they got you, they had you like you could like do like there. The thing about it, like Dungeon Boss, out of all the games, were more legit as far as like you don't have to necessarily pay to win. Mm-hmm. You have to pay to be in like the top dogs, but you can play it without paying, which is probably why it's extremely popular now. But Hero of Atlan, it was completely designed to suck your money down. Like the odds.
And I guess it worked.
It did, because it was like this. For example, okay. It costs 20 rubies, which rubies are the things that you buy, right?
Yeah.
It costs 20 rubies to try to summon a monster. And the monsters
to try and summon, or you will definitely get one?
No, you will get one, but the ranking system is S, 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 A, B, C, and D. Okay?
Okay.
So SS is the best.
Sure.
And what happens is, more than likely, you get like a D. Well,
yeah.
When you get 2 Ds, right, you can attempt to combine them and make a C character.
So you can attempt, but you don't guarantee getting a C?
And guarantee like probably 50% of the time or more, you're gonna fail, and you get like 1,000 gold. So,
fuck.
Yeah, and so it's extremely, extremely rare to get an SS. And if you went to the grind of trying to combine these characters, it was next to impossible. Because once you get up to the S, to combine 2 S into an SS was probably like winning the
It's never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah. So that's why I was doing the math. I'm like, people had to have spent $3,000 or $5,000 just for one sole purpose, and that is to get an SS monster. Either that or these characters were fake.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Okay, so what eventually made you be like, okay, well, I'm done playing this, even though I've dumped all this money into it. See you later, Heroes of Atlan.
It was just like whenever, actually, when I stopped paying any money, I slowly started slipping down the rankings. And I was like, it was like, what am I doing? This is a big waste of money. And there was like and then you just seen these other people getting SS. And like once you get an SS monster, one of the keys were like, if you have an SS monster, it would like hit everybody in your team. And it would just like wipe them out. Like
God damn.
Your entire team was like wiped out. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, that totally sounds like bullshit, pay to win type.
I don't know if it's still around. I wonder. But see, I think it was one of the games that kind of revolutionized and started the whole. Well, I wouldn't say it's like it was one of the early ons that. Right. And I mean, it looks like it's really popular.
Still?
Well, it has 96,000 reviews.
That's a lot of reviews.
That's quite a bit. It has 1 million to 5 million installs.
Damn.
So, I mean, these people are still playing it.
That's crazy, dude.
Oh, another thing is they finally opened up a new server, and you had to start again from scratch. And I was like, you could play the old server, but everybody was going to the new server because all the top dogs already ran the show on the old server. So everybody,
Right.
so I'm like, I'm not going over to a new server and redoing
And then
all
having to
this.
start completely over and pay. You know, and I understand that, man, because I played those games too, where they'll have, you know, you'll start it and you'll click, okay, I'm on the newest server. Okay, I guess I'll start on that one. And then a week or two later, oh, here's another new server. And I'm talking about these things have like 180 or more servers. And it's just like, you know, if I spend all this time on this server, whether I spend money or not, I still don't want to go to the next one and start over and start grinding yet again. And even if I do go over there, you know, I'm back at the bottom. So, you know, the only incentive is the fact that everybody is leaving the server that I'm currently on. So it's a shitty model, but I guess it makes money. So what do I know?
Yeah, well, I think it's an issue with the audience because the mobile players like myself, we don't have time to sit here and game all the time. So,
Right.
and so it kind of one of those, like, I don't think a game like Dungeon Boss no one would purchase it on Steam because who wants to buy a game on their PC where they have to wait 30 minutes to get energy and open up the game again and play it? Like that model doesn't work on Steam, right?
Right.
And so, but then the model of games that you buy on Steam a lot of times where when you're having dudes grind for 8 hours, you know, it doesn't really work on mobile. I mean, I guess it does, but a lot of people don't have
it
time.
can, but yeah, who wants to sit there and stare at their phone for 8 hours? Or, you know, and almost all games on phone are on tablet too, but still, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then on your phone, if you play a game for more than 2 or 3 hours, your battery's dead.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
I mean, they're capitalizing. And actually, the original games that were like this were way back in the bulletin board system, which is like Legend of the Red Dragon. They allowed you, so you actually dialed up with a dial-up modem to a bulletin board system. You got on there and you played a text game and you got like 15 forest fights a day. And you would go and you'd fight these random monsters. You'd get gold. You'd go buy a sword or whatever. You would have like 3 PvP kills. And then you couldn't play for 24 hours. And those were way back in the 90s. Those were before these.
Right.
But I mean, they didn't cost money.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm wondering, because like, why would they limit you back then? And I, you know, I understand what you're talking about, but why limit you back then whenever they're not making any money? Because half of the reason like a game like Candy Crush makes it where you have to stop playing after you run out of lives is so you'll buy more lives, or you'll fucking send a message to your friends and be like, hey, give me a life, so that they're getting bombarded with Candy Crush shit, so that maybe they'll be like, oh, okay, let me play Candy Crush. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, what was the business model back then of limiting?
Well, back then they weren't looking to save money. They weren't looking to pay money. But back then, it usually was some nerd in his mom's basement.
Right.
And when dial-up, you only had one connection at a time. So you wouldn't want some nerd using up your phone line the entire time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because of BBS. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they were like, they made these games where they limit these nerds to only like 15, 20 minutes at a time. But it's funny how that's came full circle now into mobile games.
That's true, man. Like, I don't think a lot of people make that type of comparison between, you know, current mobile games and shit that started back before the internet was even really the internet. You know, like text-only shit, and, you know, I mean, there weren't even pictures whenever I got on the internet at the beginning. It was just text, so. I'm old as fuck. I'm really old, guys. What can I say? All right. Well, this has been a pretty long episode, I think. So I guess we'll wrap it up. But
Okay.
we'll just wrap it up by saying that I'm really old.
Finest is a cuck.
And Finest is a cuck. I might just name this episode Finest is a cuck and just.
You should.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Facebook.com/Street Fight Club Podcast. Go give us a like. Let us know what mobile games you've been addicted to down in the comments. If you're old like us and you play BBS games, just I don't know, it's cool. So yeah, and we'll be back soon, and Finest will probably be back or not because fuck him for ditching us. So who knows? All right. See ya.
See ya.